Well, hey, Jenna.
Hello, Leslie.
I am so excited that we're doing this today. We're talking about one of my most favorite Google Workspace tools, Google Sites. And we thought the name of this would be perfect, Love at First Google Sites, because once you get familiar with this tool, it will be love at first sight.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Leslie Keel, and I'm a professional development specialist with Five Star Technology Solutions.
And hey, I am also a professional development specialist with Five Star Technology Solutions, and my name is Jenna Langle. And we are super excited to be able to talk to you today about Google Sites. Five Star Technology Solutions is a company based in Indiana, and we are committed to changing the way you experience professional development.
Yes. Well, let's run through some of our objectives that we're going to cover as we talk about Google Sites today.
Hey, Leslie, let's look at customizing and adding basic content to sites.
Yes, that's where we'll start.
And then exploring how Google Workspace apps integrate with sites. And then also adding pages to our website. We need that, but those sub pages that hit below. And then what's a Google site if no one can access it and see it? We want to look at publishing and also sharing. So I'm really excited for our learning opportunities today.
Yes, awesome. All right, well, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to open up a new tab here on my end. And to navigate to the site's homepage, I'm just going to type in sites.google.com. And you can hear my four-legged coworker there in the background. I also know that I could get to this site's homepage from my drive. Sometimes it's easier, though, to just start from here. And I love this homepage. I love looking through here and seeing, okay, if I want to start a new site, I can start from a brand new blank site, which we'll do here in just a second. But I also have all of these templates up here. Now, below, I can see where I can access all of the sites that I have collaborated on or that I own or that have been shared with me. But then if I click on this template gallery up here at the top, I can scroll through and see all of these options if I don't want to start from scratch. And Jenna, I don't know if you have ever used any of these in your classroom before, but this is so awesome. Check out down here at the bottom, this category called education. You can start with a class template. You can start with a student portfolio template. So it's really nice to be able to not have to start from scratch.
And Leslie, I'm curious because I see to the left of general, I see Five Star Technology Solutions. So I know that that's our like domain. And it looks like we don't have any templates available, but I'm wondering if thinking about for schools, if they had a template for each classroom, that would be
That's
amazing.
so smart.
And then it would live under that tab, right?
Yes, exactly. And that would be really cool if you had, specific school colors that you wanted to make accessible to all the teachers. That would be really neat.
I
Great
love
thinking. Okay, well, I'm going to navigate back with this arrow at the top. And I actually am going to start from a blank site. So while these templates are here and they're great, I feel like if we start from the basics, then we'll get all these tools in our tool belt and we'll know how to go from scratch if we ever need to. All right, so once this blank site populates, I do see that it's a pretty blank canvas. And I'm going to start where I always start when I open up a new Google file, and that is to come up to the top left-hand corner and give this file a title. So this is going to be how it appears in my drive, and I will call this um, eighth grade ELA because I was an English language arts teacher for eighth grade. So that makes sense for me. And then here, I also see that I can enter the site name as well. I do want to point out the difference here. This top title is how it's going to appear in my drive, but no matter what I change this to, it will not affect the way the name of the site appears in my drive. I'm okay with my site name being 8th grade ELA. So I'm going to leave it just like that. All right, so our page title, this is going to be my home page. This is what I want to appear really big whenever students or parents check my site out. So I'll just call this Welcome to Language Arts. And I see that I have lots of tools in this toolbar to change the font, maybe make it bold, all sorts of different ways that I could manipulate this. Now, I do want to point out that you can customize the look of this header or the look of your entire site really, really easily. One of your options is over here on the right-hand side where it says theme. And we've got all sorts of choices here. Now, I could go through each of these and I could see, okay, which one is going to be exactly what I want. But for the sake of our demo, I'm going to keep it simple with this simple theme. Maybe I'll change that color though.
And now, I see really quickly, sorry to interrupt. I see
No, interrupt.
Custom. That's new, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. This is a fairly new feature. I think maybe this rolled out in the past month or so. But if I have something specific, maybe my school has a mascot and I want that to appear up there, I could add in, I could get really, really specific for what I want that theme to look like. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, of course.
So now if I wanted to change this header even more, I have the opportunity to add in an image. So I'll do that just to show you what this looks like. I can either upload an image from my device or I can select an image from their gallery, or my favorite is to search for an image. So if we're talking ELA, I'm probably going to have something with books here. And I really like the look of this one right here.
So does Busy.
So does Busy, yes. So does my four-legged coworker. So you can see, you can play around with that and see which image makes the most sense for your site. Lots of opportunity to customize here. So now we want to get to the good stuff, right? What's a site if you're not going to have content that your users can interact with? So let's take a look at how we can add some content down here below our header. I'm going to use this insert from this menu on the right-hand side. And I see, oh my word, lots of options here. We're going to keep it really simple right now. And we're just going to start with a text box. So maybe on the homepage of my website, parents, there might be frequently asked questions. Okay, I've got this nice toolbar. I can make the font larger, or I could change the font, change the color. I also can change where this lives on the page. So I've got these blue dots and I can click and drag. And Jen, I don't know if you can see it on your end, but there are these little hash lines. And so that changes the size of whatever it is you're working with. So I'll center align this. And then I've got these little dots around it, and that tells me, hey, you can pick this up and you can move it wherever you want. So I love that.
I love those blue little guidelines too. When you were clicking and dragging, it showed me exactly where the center was.
Yes, super helpful.
Yes,
yeah. You don't have it takes the guesswork out of it, really.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So let's insert another text box. I could come back over here to the menu, but I want to show you something. It's such a little trick, but sometimes it's the little things. If I just double click in this workspace, I've got this wheel of what I think of as the most frequent options that you can choose from. So I see here text box is one of my choices. So I'm going to add in, let's see what a frequently asked question would be like. How can I check my grades? I guarantee students and parents are going to want to know that. Once again, same formatting options here, but notice that you can link to items out on the web. So this is really handy. I know that my school has information on our school website. So I could just click that link option. And if I have that link handy, I can just copy and paste, or I could search for it if I needed to. but I will paste this in here because I have, oh, and I'm going to hit that back button. It's my most favorite feature in all of our Google Workspaces, that undo button at the top. And I'm going to make sure this is highlighted before I insert that link. There we go. So now students can interact with that, parents can interact with that, and it will take them exactly where they need to go. How are we doing, Jenna?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited about the opportunities that can be provided to students and parents with this amazing tool already.
Yes. So another feature that I love is that you can link more than just words. You can link images as well. So if I use that double click trick again, I get my wheel here. I can choose image. And let's say, well, I'm going to search Google image search. Let's say e-learning, because I know students and parents are going to have a lot of e-learning questions. I like this image right here. So then I have the ability to bring this image in, find those dots in the corner and click and drag, making it the size that I need it to be. And here is that link option. So I could link to, whatever it is out on the web that I need my students to find. So it's not just text. And I'll drag that over. All I had to do was click and drag, and it's as simple as that, getting that lined up.
And Leslie, I know this is for 8th grade ELA, but I'm thinking about younger students, or perhaps students that are special education learners, or even our English learners that need those visuals. I love the hyperlinking to an image. That's fantastic.
Yep, absolutely. All of those types of learners, and honestly, of all ages, no matter the ability level, sometimes it's just nicer to click on that image.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
Even for me.
Oh yeah, even for us. So we've got a nice start here, but sometimes I like to pause and look at what I'm creating from how it will look on the user's side. So you can do that really simply in Google Sites. If you come up to the top, you'll see this computer, and it kind of looks like a tablet icon. When I hover over, it says preview. Clicking that allows me to see exactly what my site looks like so far from that end user perspective. And down here at the bottom, I can switch what type of device they'd be looking on. So I can change it to a phone or a tablet, or go back to that computer view. So I always like to pause what I'm doing with that creation and just say, like, okay, how will this look to people that are using it? I'll hit that X to get out of that preview mode. And then let's keep considering other things that we can add in content-wise. So from this right-hand menu where we see lots and lots of options, I'm just scrolling down, and we won't talk about all of these because it is really extensive. But I do love the YouTube integration here. I can easily add in a video. So let's say I have a video of something that we do in my class that I really want to be able to share out with families and with students. Sometimes we did something called a compliments project. So I could share this video, and users could access this and play this video right on the site. They wouldn't have to, navigate to a separate tab or anything like that. It would just play right here. I love that.
I love how easy it is to embed that video right within. I mean,
yes,
there was 2 or 3 clicks.
So
yes. Wow.
Yep. You're right. 2 or 3 clicks was all it took. A few other really cool, really nice, neat things that you can embed because we are working in a Google Workspace tool. Of course, we can embed things like slides. And I just want to show you how slick this looks. As I scroll down from my options on the right-hand side, I do see that slides is a choice. And let's say I have, if I use that search icon, if I have like an all about me and I really want families to be able to see that, I can choose my slide deck and hit insert. Now, notice at the bottom left-hand corner, you have toggles here. From this editing point of view, we can't go through, but watch what happens when I go back up into that preview mode from this icon at the top. If I scroll on down to that slide deck, users are able to scroll through right there. They don't have to open up the slide deck in a new tab. It is so slick. I love that so much. And a really cool feature about this, Jenna, is that if I went in and I continued adding slides to this slide deck, I would never have to come and re-upload it. I wouldn't have to mess with that at all. Because of the magic of Google, the new slides would automatically be here.
I love Google. Hey, I'm curious. Next time when you get into that preview mode, because I know you're going to get to it again, I'm just curious, since now you have things sent over to the left, I'm curious on what that looks like with the phone, because I feel like lots of parents would probably be looking from a phone. So when you get there next,
let's go ahead and let's drag these around a little bit, manipulate these, and let's see how that looks in the preview. From a phone, you're right. I bet a lot of parents would be utilizing that. Notice that it stacks it automatically. Cool.
Even though you put it side by side. So
even though, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's just kind of the behind the scenes magic of Google doing things that work best for the users. So one final note that I want to give about anything that you add from your drive, and this is something that you just have to get in the habit of doing, you have to be sure that you have the permissions set correctly. So if this is something that is restricted, this slide deck, and I have it set so no one else can access it, well, even though I am previewing it and I can see it, well, that's because it's mine, right? Someone who doesn't have access would not be able to see it unless I made sure that I set that access for that slide deck. So just something to be really mindful of.
That's super helpful.
So let's add one more piece of content here. Like I said, there are so many other options, but one that is just really a favorite of mine is the ability to insert a calendar and embed a calendar. So Jenna, I know that when you were in the classroom, you were super involved and you were like the Jill of all trades. Did you do any kind of extracurricular work on top of teaching?
I did. Girls on the Run, yearbook. So I'm really excited for this next feature because I see where you're going with the calendar. So embedding within a site. Tell me more.
Absolutely. So I'm going to choose this calendar option. And for families who know me as not just their language arts teacher, but maybe also as their extracurricular coach, I could have a calendar that I could embed. And the reason it's called extracurriculars, I did that on my calendar side. So within Google Calendar itself. But here, all of my calendars are available. So I can select any of them and then hit insert. But I like thinking about extracurriculars because that's one that, like you, I was involved in a couple of coaching things as well. So you can see that it populates with this view, this agenda view. But if you're thinking, I wonder what happens when you preview it. Yeah, you're on the right track because when we go up to preview, and I'm going to actually choose the large screen from down here in the right-hand corner, I have the ability to toggle to, let's say, the week view. And I can see, okay, this afternoon we've got cross-country practice. I can scroll to the next week and I can see everything on this calendar and it's all right here.
Wow. Well, I'm thinking too, if I had appointment slots added on here for like parent-teacher conferences, would those still be buttons that would appear and users could interact with those?
So smart. I love that, Jenna. Yes, absolutely.
Amazing.
I know. It really does make Google Sites more of this one-stop shop that we know that it has the capability of being.
Yes.
So I'm going to hit that X to get out of preview, and I want to start thinking about some of our other objectives. Um, I want to start thinking about the capability of adding on pages to our site. So right now we've got this one page, and you know, I'll say that my eye for design is maybe not as strong as some others. So I do want to note that if that's you too, if you're like, oh, I could never pick out, where each thing needs to be, do know in this menu on the right-hand side, you actually can choose these pre-made layouts. So if you want Google to do the thinking for you, and you want to just choose a layout and then add in items, that's totally an option. We did it the long way just so we could have that skill set, but those layouts are available and are really easy to just click and customize.
I love that. And I noticed that there's a blue line around that row that you just added, that layout. So then I'm seeing that there's dots over on the left-hand side. So I'm wondering, can we move this row above the calendar?
Oh yeah, we can move this anywhere we want.
Oh, amazing.
Yes,
I love
anything we
that.
put on this canvas, we can manipulate. We can put it exactly where we
Ah,
want.
amazing.
Yes, just for the sake of how our site's gonna look at the end, I am going to click on this layout and I'm gonna hit that trash can just because I don't wanna fill that in at this time. So we'll just go with what we've got. Now, let's think about those extra pages that I mentioned we wanna add. A lot of times when you go to a website, it's not just that one page that you visit. There are other pages, there are sub pages, and Google Sites gives you that capability as well. So over here on the right-hand side, I see pages as an option. So I've got this home page. That's what I've created here, but I have the ability to create more just by coming down and clicking on this plus. So if this is my class website, I'm wondering if I would have pages like Unit 1 and Unit 2. And if I'm going to have Unit 1 and Unit 2, maybe within those, I would list the texts that we are going to work with. So I could add a subpage. I'll show you where that is. On those three dots, just when I hover over one of my pages here, I click, I can add a subpage. So let's say in Unit 1, we're going to read the Diary of Anne Frank. And as you notice, the hierarchy here, Diary of Anne Frank, that subpage is within Unit 1. But if I mess that up, all of these, just like everything that we entered on our homepage, you can click and you can drag and you can manipulate all of this. So you're never locked in to anything. You always have that ability to customize.
Love that. I saw three dots to the right of the Diary of Anne Frank. Can you have a subpage for your subpage?
You can keep on going. So maybe this is when we look at, news articles about the Diary of Anne Frank as well. And we could keep on going deeper and deeper. Now, something that's really handy, I don't know if you were the teacher that liked to get everything planned out way far in advance. That's what I always aimed for.
I don't know if I got it.
If that's you, if you're someone that likes to plan for the future, Sites really has an awesome feature that you're going to want to check out. And that is the ability to create these pages, but then hide them from user navigation. So let's say we're just on Unit 1 right now. I don't want my students, or I don't want parents and families to be able to look past Unit 1. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I can hover over that Unit 2, find those three dots, because in Google's world, we always know that that means there are more options. And I can say hide from navigation. So notice everything under Unit 2 is now going to be hidden. I can still see it as the person that's making the changes on this site, but people that access my site wouldn't be able to see it. All right. So we've talked about adding content, creating new pages. Now we need to think about what this is going to look like when this gets published. Under this settings wheel at the very top, there are a few things that I want to point out here. You can get really deep in the settings and you can get pretty advanced, but I just want to point out one thing in particular, and that is where you navigate the subpages and the pages. If I select navigation from the left-hand side and I come out by mode, it says that it's top right now. Well, that means my units, my pages, all of that is going to be listed in the top right-hand corner. I can change that to the side. And it was quick. I don't know if you noticed, but this little hamburger menu, these 3 horizontal lines popped up in the left-hand corner. It's the little things, right? But sometimes it may be more convenient, more aesthetically pleasing to just change where that navigation is found. I actually am going to switch it back to top because I do like that. I'll exit out there of our settings. And now I want to look at publishing. Now you've got a couple of different options here. You may be looking at this person icon with the plus sign, but this is for adding collaborators. So when I click on that, this is if I want somebody else to help me build this website, or I want them to look at it and give me like an approval before I publish. Maybe groups. I have student groups that are building a site together for my class. That would be the time that I would share from that person icon. If I want to publish, like out on the web, right? Like the final portion of creating a site is publishing it out on the web. I'm going to come to this purple publish button. Now from here, I can add anything that I want to be the custom domain. So I'm already going to have that sites.google.com / whatever my domain is. So right now, we're 5-star. But what comes after that, I can change. So if I want it to be 8th grade, notice it says, hey, that's great, but it's already taken. So what if I made it 8th grade ELA? It looks like that's available. So then I know that this is going to be the back end of my URL for my site. Now I can change who is going to view my site. Maybe I want to keep it only in my domain, or maybe I want to go to manage and I could change this to even beyond my own domain. So
Leslie, really quickly, will you click in the add people or in groups?
Yeah.
And then click my name. And I think you should be able to, over on the right, you should be able to then select publish viewer. So you can just have several, or select people be published viewers. So
yes.
Yeah.
I love that. And you could drop in, a whole list of people in there as well.
Mm-hmm. Leslie, I see that we're getting kind of close on time. This has been absolutely amazing. Are there any final things with Google Sites that we can share and discuss? Or
Yeah, I want to make sure that I point out that when you publish the site, you then have this drop-down arrow by the word publish. So every time that you make changes to your site, you're going to want to check out that drop-down arrow. So let's say I'll just quickly delete this and make a change. Now I've already published my site. If I choose that drop-down arrow and then choose View Published Site, then I'm going to have the ability to see exactly what it looks like. So anytime changes are made, I can review changes and it's going to show me side by side. Hey, this is what it looks like now, currently published. This is what the draft looks like. And if I'm okay with what it looks like in the new edits, I'll just hit that publish button. Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yes. Okay. So I know that's a lot. It's so fun to dig into Google Sites, and there are so many possibilities. We at 5-star love utilizing Google Sites. It's so amazing for student portfolios, class websites, and so much more. Hopefully you enjoyed learning about it as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Leslie. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thanks for being here, Jenna.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.